time for our weekly segment with NFL Hall of Fame columnist John McClain. Brought to you by Pioneer Steel and Pipe, where customer service is their main focus, and best in metal, steel, and pipe for large or small projects, with 2 locations in Waco and Bryan. Family owned and operated since 1943. Read John's work at GallerySports.com and SportsRadio610.com.
All right, John McClain, Houston Chronicle. For a long, long time, Hall of Famer, now GallerySports.com, Houston 610 Radio as well, and just a Hall of Famer in every way possible. John, I know that this may not be on the radar in Houston because of baseball, the Astros, or whatever. How much play is it among sports fans on Houston's football team, not the Texans, but the Cougars? And I saw that Dana Holgerson was on the front cover of the sports page today, and he's under a little heat.
He is under a little heat. They were talking about being unbeaten this year. If they could get past one of those early games, get in the conference schedule, they've been a big disappointment. And Holgerson's under a lot of pressure and criticism because of his play calling. So, yeah, it's not what the University of Houston expected this season. They do have some talent. They got transfers. You know, they're preparing to go in the Big 12. And the Cougar fans who I know and talk to a lot, you know, they're really disappointed at this point, and they say this is not the way you want to go into the Big 12. I said, it doesn't matter how you go in the Big 12. It's what you do when you get there. And right now the Big 12 is as wide open as I can ever remember it, and I would think that it would be a good time to go to the Big 12.
John, do you think Dana can get just a little bit of chill, or does he have to win some games first?
No, he's not going to get fired. They like him a lot. He's done a really good job there, but they've lost 2 overtime games, and my goodness, they lost to a third-string quarterback in overtime to Tulane here. And they're not drawing like they should. They've got a really nice stadium on campus, close to downtown, beautiful views everywhere, and they had 26,000. Now, I think when they go in the Big 12 and they start playing teams like Baylor and TCU and people that they played before, I think their crowds will be bigger. I know it'll be a lot more exciting here because the conference that they play in, the American Conference, they're playing teams like Central Florida, I think Central Florida Navy, and people just don't care.
And I actually just saw news from Joseph. Tajon Henry, their running back, is now out after some surgery, apparently, on his busted-up ankle. So there's another key contributor that now appears to be out for at least a little while, but not sure on the rest of the details there. John, Texans 34-24 fall to the Chargers. Really got into a bit of a hole there in that first half, especially that second quarter. But just your impressions on Jalen Petrie and the rest of that Houston squad right now under Lovie Smith.
Jalen Petrie's made a couple of mental mistakes. He had 2 tackles behind the line of scrimmage that were wiped out because of penalties. He's playing great. It's amazing to me. The Texans only have, 4 players on their roster they drafted in the first or second round. That's how much they've gotten rid of players. The 2 number 1s are Derek Stingley, Kenyon Green, right tackle Titus Howard, who came here in 2019, and Petrie. Shows you how bad of a job they did drafting when Bill O'Brien, Brian Gaine, and Jack Easterby were involved, and Nick Caserio always had to take it down to the foundation. But Petrie and Stingley are 2 of their best players, and they're going to make mistakes. But the key is, do they learn from them? And you guys know, you never see Jalen Petrie make the same mistake 2 times. People are most excited over another rookie, Damian Pierce, who has 311 yards rushing, more than any rookie in the NFL. He had a 75-yard touchdown run to spark a rally. Texans were down 27-7. They scored 3 times in a row to make it 27-24 with 8 minutes left. They needed a stop, and they couldn't do it. The Chargers went 12 plays, 84 yards to secure the victory, and that's another time Texans had a chance in the fourth quarter. They've blown a chance to win all 4.
How's Lovie handling everything, knowing that he's very, his demeanor is very quiet? I know his fire burns inside. How's he handling things?
He's always glass half full. Everybody here is glass half empty because Davis Mills is not playing as well as he did at the end of last season. Pep Hamilton, the quarterback coach last year, elevated to coordinator and play caller. He's under a lot of fire because of the play calling. But in the defense, Lovey's in charge of the defense. Defense played its worst game, and he's pretty honest when the defense plays well, but Pep Hamilton runs the offense. And the fact is, the next game is at Jacksonville. They beat Jacksonville 8 times in a row, haven't lost since 2017. There's a good chance that winning streak is going to come to an end. And I keep telling people, right now, the Texans have the first pick in the draft, and they can have their pick of any player you want. So when they lose, people shouldn't be so disappointed. Think about the light at the end of the tunnel as a franchise quarterback.
John, Davis Mills is down, like all that. Is there some relief that Rex Burkhead is now not in the lineup as much?
Rex Burkhead.
My God, yeah. John, you're going to lose your mind on that one, aren't you?
I call him Rex bleeping Burkhead on the air here. Now, in his defense, he had 3 catches, 2 for first downs and 1 for a touchdown. But there was a play in the second quarter, 4th and 1. Texans went for it, and they had Davis Mills, who's a pocket passer, fake a handoff to Burkhead, like the Chargers actually thought Burkhead was going to get the ball. Mills rolls to his right. Burkhead goes out in the flat. He's covered like a rash. Oops, they forgot to block Khalil Mack, the best pass rusher on the Chargers. Boom, a sack. What happened? A rookie tight end who was only playing because of injuries. He takes off the upfield like he's going to catch a pass, and Mack just runs right by him. And that was a dumb play from the start. That on 4th and 1, get Damian Pierce in there, your best runner. And the last play of the game, the Chargers had taken a knee 4 times, 16 seconds left. Texans get the ball. They're about to take a knee. Then they decide to hand it to Pierce, and he runs for 2 yards. Game over. And we're killing them. What if Pierce had been hurt on a needless play? Sacrifice Burkhead. Give Burkhead the ball when you're running out the clock on a loss, not Damian Pierce.
John, what have you made of all the Tua talk revolving around his injury, playing last week, getting hurt again? Obviously, they made the move to get rid of the independent person involved in the decision-making. Just your thoughts on kind of this ugly story, I guess, head injury-wise and the NFL and the decisions made.
One of the things that makes it so bad, Craig, is it was all caught. It was on, it was on TV. They saw Tua hit his head against Buffalo, get up, stagger around, have to go down on one knee to get it back together. And then he said it was his back, not his head. Well, if something like that happens again, he's out of there. And the independent neurologist, according to NFLPA, he didn't really understand what his job was. And I don't know how that can be. That's on the team, the league. I don't know why when they go into concussion protocol, the team doctor's in there, because he's always going to be partial to the team. But they've made a lot of strides, but I think it's going to be even tougher. Texans had a player go out in the second quarter. They said he's gone to the locker room for concussion protocol, and he's questionable return. I said, he ain't coming back. Nobody's coming back when they leave for concussion today,
right,
because of what happened with Tua.
Yeah, it's a messy story. The Cowboys won with Cooper Rush while Dak Prescott has been injured, and they've looked pretty good doing it. He's done a nice job. Defense seems like they're kind of getting back to that reckless type things where they're forcing turnovers. They look fairly good. John, your thoughts about where they are?
The defense is so fast. That's the way Jimmy Johnson won, with speed on defense to get to the ball, get to the quarterback. They're running the ball well. They know Tony Pollard's good. He's better than Dak, better than Zeke. And I'll say this, Jerry Jones that day couldn't grip the football right. Can he, in 2 weeks, get back that grip to where he can grip with no issue and be accurate? The guy that's kind of the unsung hero here is Kellen Moore. He's adjusted his play calling to take advantage of what Cooper Rush can and cannot do. And you want to maximize your strength and minimize your weaknesses. And when I watch them, I think Kellen Moore is doing a great job. And for anybody who thinks Russ may keep his job, no, that's hogwash. When Dak Prescott's 100%, he's coming back. What if he comes back and doesn't play well and they lose? Then there's going to be a lot of howling by fans, media, social media to put Rush back in there. It's been a while, I think, since the Cowboys have had a legitimate quarterback controversy. Hey, that's what Jerry Jones wanted, right?
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
To be fair to Dak, the rest of the team has played much better than they did in the game that Dak played in and got hurt. So if Dak continues to play poorly, then yeah, it would be clearly him. But, nobody was doing him any favors in week one either.
Cooper Rush is a great example, like Jimmy Garoppolo. You better have a second quarterback. The way they get hurt, like the Giants are down to a third already. They're 3-1. They got the first two hurt. The Patriots are putting Bailey Zappi from Victoria and Houston Baptist before he went to Western Kentucky, and they need 3. So it's amazing. You better make sure you got at least 2, or you're going to have to do like the Giants did and go the Wildcat. Let Saquon Barkley take the snaps and run.
John, how much of a believer are you in Jalen Hurts and the Eagles?
Jalen Hurts has improved every year in the NFL as he did at Alabama. And then by the time he got to Oklahoma, he was a proven, established quarterback in a pass-oriented offense. And when he was drafted second, Carson Wentz didn't handle it well, so he's gone. Last year, when the Eagles made a push to get Deshaun Watson and he rejected them, it didn't phase Jalen Hurts at all. That kid just continues to get better. They're good on both sides of the ball. They're the only team in the league that ranks in the top 9 in every major category: offense, rushing game, passing game, defense, against the run, against the pass. They're 9 or less, and they have got it going on both sides of the ball, and they run the heck out of the ball.
How about Mahomes and some of the stuff he did in that game with Tampa Bay? Some of the throws. He is so much fun to watch, John, and just there's no play that's dead when he has the football in his hand.
One of the things that I love about the NFL, how in the hell did the Chiefs lose to the Colts? They lost to the Colts. It was embarrassing. They were terrible. Then the Colts come back and lose at home to the Titans. It's just amazing what goes on every week. But Pat, that's why people say, is Philadelphia the best team? I said the Eagles only unbeaten team, but I still think Kansas City and Buffalo are 1 and 2 because of their quarterbacks. And I wouldn't rule out the Packers. They're not getting a lot of love because those young receivers are being developed. The maturation process is ongoing as we see them. And maybe by the stretch run, crunch time in December and January, Green Bay will be right there as it has been the last 2 years when they had on-field advantage.
John, watching the Rams last night, there's a lot of talk about Odell Beckham Jr. not being there and their lack of playmakers. I don't think that's their big problem. I think they really miss Andrew Whitworth, among other. Their offensive line's terrible right now.
The offensive line is terrible, Paul, and Matthew Stafford, I think, has been sacked second most. Their running game's mediocre. The 49ers own them in regular season, 7 consecutive losses, but the Rams have beaten them in the playoffs. It's amazing to me the way the 49ers just keep running the ball, no matter who they put out there. They got heat on Stafford, even though Eric Armstead left the game. And Deebo Samuel showed why he got a big raise. That guy is a big play waiting to happen. I didn't take the Niners seriously because Trey Lance did not play well in the last preseason game here. Him getting hurt, this is terrible to say, might be the best thing that happened to the 49ers this season. Now he gets another year to learn. Garoppolo will be unrestricted, can't be tagged. He'll be gone, and Lance will take over next year.
Can the Bears take this off week and get better?
I don't know how you take a quarterback who's not accurate and make him accurate. And I don't remember Justin Fields having that problem at Ohio State. I remember people talking about that last year when he was bad. Well, he's a rookie. But right now, he's struggling. The toughest loss the Houston Texans will have all year was when they went to Soldier Field, and Fields was awful as a passer, and the Bears still won the game. It's going to be interesting. It looks like they'll have a high pick. New regime there, new GM, new coach. Will they come back with Fields for a third year, or will they think they need to draft another quarterback in the first round?
All right, John. And Baylor off the loss to Oklahoma State, get the off week, and then at Morgantown where they have never won.
I am headed right now to J.W. Marriott at the Galleria to hear Nikki Collins and Scott Drew. Always looking forward to that. So I will tell you guys this.
There you go. John McClain, GallerySports.com, AM 610 in Houston talk show. He's a part of numerous segments all throughout the country, including we're fortunate to have him, the Hall of Famer, Tuesdays at around 5.